Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me this week on our weekly faith check-in. It is Thursday and we are on week 22, where the title of our series this week is Faith Seeks the Will of God. Faith seeks the will of God. When I'm coaching my clients, I have a few clients who are unsure and uncertain about what their life purpose is, but they know what their passion is. And so in a quest to try to find what your purpose is in life, I always redirect them back to what their passion is. And everyone is passionate about something. Whether it's passionate about cooking, are you passionate about serving? Are you passionate about volunteering? Are you passionate about advocacy? Are you passionate about reading? Are you passionate about writing? Are you passionate about you fill in the blank, serving the elderly, babysitting youth? What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about cars? It's whatever you're passionate about. God is passionate about that also, especially if it involves bringing joy to another person or to another party. Anytime you have a passion that brings glory to God, honors another person, and gives you self-fulfillment, then you are on your way to finding out and figuring out what your purpose in life is. Now, if you're at a point where you're just not certain about what you're passionate about and what your passion is, I have two rules of thumb to follow in learning what that is as a Christian person. God gave the original commandments to man through Moses on Mount Moriah. The 10 Commandments is one way for you to connect with God, to understand what God's will is. So love him first. The first 4 commandments deal with wrapping your heart and your mind and your soul and your body around embodying everything of who you are around who God is, centering that, learning and understanding who God is, how much he loves you, how much you are to love him and to walk with him, to obey him, to rest in his presence, his omnipotence, everything that embodies him. And then once you get that, and that doesn't take I would say take a week to stew and to sit and to meditate and to ponder on the first 4 commandments. Take some time to really solidify your belief and your faith and your commitment to the first 4 commandments. Because once you do, the next 6, you won't have trouble at all trying to adhere to those. Never setting false judgment on your neighbor, which is lying. Never lying on your neighbor. Never committing adultery. Do not murder. Do not steal. Do not covet. Those things will be easy to do and will not be a challenge to do once you've learned how to master how to love God. And that's God's will for your life. A second example as for you to know how to understand what God's will is for your life is in Galatians 5:23, which is the fruits of the Spirit. There are 9 fruits of the Spirit against which there is no law. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. If you can master self-control, you're within God's will. If you can master peace and patience and kindness and love and joy, think about mastering joy for a moment. We live in a world that's a broken world. And when we turn on the news just reminds us how broken this world is. But if you can master how to have joy in a broken world, you're living within God's will. And then Jesus teaches us, when Jesus came to earth as a man to be our example, to show us through parables and through his example and through his hands and through his feet and through his mouth and his word and the way he interacted with people, the way he changed people's lives, the way he taught us how to pray. Lord, not my will, but your will. We have many, many examples to get us on a path of knowing, believing, and understanding what God's will is for your life. But you know what? It takes faith. It takes faith to do that. As you are building your faith to learn what God's will is and how faith seeks God's will, in that you will be sure to know and understand what your purpose is in life. And you will begin to see how your will aligns with God's will. God's will is always up here and your will is always down there. But whenever you are connecting with God, it comes up and it meets it. Your will should never surpass God's will. God's will always be up here and you will always work to meet up with God's will. And I love that. I love that. Faith seeks the will of God. Be well in understanding and discovering and uncovering your will. See you next time.